welcome to Nadia Studio. We are nearly done with our illustration journey with The Traveling Book Goes to School. This is almost the last page as far as the story of The Traveling Book Goes to School. This is the last spread, and there will be a second spread, but it's just the open pages like I had in the first book, so I'm just using the same pages I had in the previous book, so I don't need to do anything for that. And it's the same setting as the previous illustrations in the classroom with Miss Kenzie and the children kind of having them before she was presenting the books, and then Dawson read Twisty, and now the teacher herself is reading the traveling book as we kind of close out this full story. I kept Dawson, and I think this girl with the hijab in here. Oh, also the girl with the kind of, I think like dreadlocks is what I was going for. But I also wanted to include some kids we haven't seen, or at least some faces we hadn't really seen clearly, to keep it interesting. So those are the kids here, and I was kind of looking for some different hairstyles. I like the boy with the curly hair in the back. Actually, I didn't mention, but we have had Dawson in this story a few times, but the girl in the hijab, and I will be painting her purple, as you may have noticed she was before. I pulled her, she is a character, kind of a background character I put on one of the map pages in the first traveling book, and she was all in purple in there too. I gave her a little purple dress and a hijab, and here I wanted her again. You know, we try to include different ethnicities, indicate a few different backgrounds with the range of kids we have. And I like the idea of having the same girl because she unfortunately doesn't get a major part in it. But just that she is in both books, I thought was fun. I really love purple, and so I like that I had her in purple. So that was just a little something to me that I enjoyed about her. But yeah, so she's kind of an Easter egg in that way. She was in the first book, and she is now in this book. Also, the painting process in this one to me is a little boring because there's so much of this gray floor. And I was a little worried about it because like we have this pale blue wall and then this gray floor, and so overall this doesn't look that interesting. And I was a little nervous about how many layers to go because I didn't want the floor to become dark, and it's hard to cover so much area very quickly with watercolor. I will be digitally adding in the whiteboard. I realized it should still be in view, so I just drew that out separately and then made that its own layer so it'll get put in there. I will also be putting in a little dog toy up there in the corner, as I realized none of the classroom scenes here had any dog in them. So I needed like toy dogs to be present for that to work. So yeah, those are just, I think, the only digital edits I really do other than text. Oh, no, that's not all of it. Also, I forgot to Twisty here. I was like, oh wait, where did she go? And I still want her to be present instead of being like put back into the bookcase, and I couldn't have her on top because there's a risk that she would get cut out. So I place her down near the teacher or near Dawson. I forget which side I chose to do, but she's kind of on the floor there. I think I chose her near Dawson because he had just read her. But yes, and so now at least we're getting more colors pulled into the clothes and into the bookcase. I've mentioned before that I don't match the books exactly height-wise, width-wise, or color-wise like with the other scenes that had the books. I don't think that's really necessary. For the books that are leaning and not upright, I did try to get like a vague reference. So it was like, okay, at what kind of point did I have a slanting book? And so I did that a bit. But other than that, I don't give it too much credence. I just pace out the colors as I see fit and just color them all in. So simple, straightforward, and then I don't know. I don't think anyone's really going to call me out for that. If they do, oh well. I don't. It's not that relevant to the story. That accuracy, I don't think, is needed, and so I didn't give myself the headache of plotting that out, memorizing that. But yeah, I like that the teacher is on this little stool down with the kiddos, and that we kind of get this kind of pull out scene from what we had just had. And then we will have another sort of zoom in scene, since we will be coming in to see the pages of the traveling book as we read his last pages. And that'll be the conclusion of the story. I mentioned this is almost the end of the journey in regards to illustrations I have to share for this book. I do know I have at least one more video that includes a few extra little libraries that we are including. They're not necessarily in the story pages, but we put them on like the log section in the back of the book. So they will be there and elsewhere. And so I did record that just to kind of include and keep that in track for anyone who is interested in those. And they again are based on real libraries, so those are kind of stewards who can point out those libraries, and we want to be a part of that community in that way. I think the traveling book has a very special place in the little free library community. But yes, there's at least that video still to be edited and uploaded, and that might be it. But at any rate, we are nearly done here, and this is been a fun journey. I don't think I will record all the pages again of another picture book. This was a lot. This is slow a lot of things down. More than I really needed it to at this point in my life. I really had more on my plate than I should have. But I am glad I did it. I am glad I have this for myself, for Charissa Bates, and anyone interested in seeing an early artist's journey into picture book making. This is, I think, I'm a little past my second year in illustrating picture books. And so a lot of it's wobbly, a lot of it's, you know, I'm improving, but I'm definitely not where I would like to be. And I'm not necessarily even using the style I want to use long term. But this is kind of the established style that I started a lot of Charissa Bates' his books in. So I do need to keep that kind of consistency present and practice to make it better and to a better standard that I can be more happy with it overall. I'm still clumsy with it. The proportions are hard for me. They're just not what I normally do. So I do struggle through it a lot. But yeah, so if that's of any help to any artists out there who are looking into picture book illustrating, this is me in the early stages of my journey still with that. And I love having this as a sort of diary entry of that process for myself. So yeah, thank you for watching this journey and watching any of the videos. And I do hope if you are interested in my work or have kids who would enjoy a good story and supporting reading and little free libraries, do keep an eye out for The Traveling Book Goes to School. You can also find the first book, simply called The Traveling Book, up on Amazon. And if you search my name, you will also find all the other books I've worked on. So that's it for now. Thank you.